Linger Lodge, Jiggs Landing, and Marineland. Any idea where those places are? Well, they're in Bradenton, Florida, off of this Braden River here. So I want to talk to you about these great, quintessentially Florida areas in Bradenton, Florida. Linger Lodge, we'll start there. So it's a restaurant, but it's also like a campground, fishing, canoeing, kayaking setting on 100 acres. Very interesting. It's in Bradenton off of State Road 70 near the interstate, 75. So in 1945, Linger Lodge was actually founded by the Parvin family, and it started out as just this 2-story log cabin and kind of grew from there. I believe that's where the current restaurant is right now. It's very, very interesting. So if you're up this way, definitely stop in. And like I said, it's 100 acres, fit for fishing, canoeing, camping. The original cabin burned down in the late 1950s. How sad. And then in 1968, Linger Lodge was bought by a Wisconsin family. It's very fitting because when you see like the cabin in the restaurant area, there's a bunch of like taxidermy work there of animals, and it's very apropos to someone from Wisconsin because that's what you see back home. I'm originally from Stevens Point, so I felt very at home there. So they began to decorate this and put the taxidermy up and all of that. Even roadkill from around the grounds. Funny. 2016, Linger Lodge was bought by the Hartl family from Austria after falling in love with the property's unique charm. Since then, they've been investing in improving the grounds to preserve and enhance the lodge's old Florida appeal. 2022, they've been renovating the RV park. So there's camping. It's an interesting spot, and it feels when you drive around there, it's like a little bit removed from hustle bustle. And there are some single family homes of people that just live back there, so I find the setting to be quite interesting. Next up, we are at Jiggs Landing, again off of State Road 70. What a beautiful setting this is. This is actually a reservoir that's fed by the Braden River, and you could take a boat past here and it'll help meander you through to Marineland, which is part of our video topic today. But I'm learning all kinds of things about Jiggs Landing because I've been here a few times, and I just think that it's such a peaceful area. So we can pan around here so you can see. See that hill behind me? Some people thought it was a landfill, and it is not a landfill, just so you know. And I'm going to talk about that area of land that looks like a hill, but a landfill, it's not. So remember that. In reading some of the notes about this place, it obviously feels very old Florida. You can come here, this is open to the public, and as you can see, just people sitting around, enjoying this storm that's about to come through here. Place for kids to swing, and they have a concession stand there with food and drinks and beer. And over here, you can see the pavilion that's covered there with that flag above there. They've got live music that comes here, and this would be a great place for sunset as well. And the boat ramp is actually free, so that's really neat. Oh, and it says here no red tide comes in here. That's kind of cool. Probably because it's freshwater. So being that this is freshwater, of course, you have alligators. So you might see a bunch of alligators. It's also really, really great for bird watching, which I find to enjoy, especially as I get older here. Like, I love watching the birds, and it's just very, very peaceful. A place you can come and just chill, listen to music, have a picnic. There's also like these cabins back here that you can rent out. They're tiny little cottages. Beyond that, there's like these little cottages that you can rent. So it's so cute. So why make a video about Jiggs Landing, Linger Lodge, and the community of Marineland? Well, it kind of all ties together. So this being like super old Florida, this actually connects by waterway to the community of Marineland. We're actually just sold a home today as we video. We just closed and I came here to the video. And Linger Lodge is close by, and it has like sort of a very similar old world vibe. So there's a lot of history back here. I think it's really neat. Lincoln Marine moved to the area in 1920, sold a piece of his land and for development, basically. So a local history buff, Denise Kleiner, who actually owns the concession stands here, once lived in a home on the banks of the Braden River that was built by Lincoln Marine. Let's call him the founder of Marineland. Over the years, Denise learned as much as she could about the area's history from longtime residents and as a member of the old Braden River Historical Society. And they have this whole boat tour. So they do a boat tour that you can learn all about the history, and it kind of takes you through Marineland. Marineland is a neighborhood of non-deed restricted properties that sit on the Braden River. It's so peaceful. I fell in love with this home that I sold. We just closed on it for $1.25 million, 6422 Lincoln Road. Beautiful setting, relaxing atmosphere. Just I felt very peaceful in this home every time I went to open it up to potential buyers. And the neighbors were so lovely, and I just feel like it was just so quaint, quintessential old Florida, friendly, off the beaten path, but very close to all of these things like Jiggs Landing, being able to come here by boat in your pontoon boat or even kayak or canoe on over here. I just find it to be such a great amenity. And then you have Linger Lodge, which is close by. And one of the most interesting facts of Marineland, it is the first community in Manatee County. So I'm getting back to that hill over there that I showed you before. So it's actually dirt from where they dug out to make this a reservoir. So this is the reservoir behind me. And that's the hill, and all this dirt that came from here is in that hill. So it's definitely not a landfill. I didn't know that until I did this video, and I honestly was like, I didn't know, maybe it is a landfill, but it's definitely not. Going back in history just a little bit to the 1800s, before Lincoln Marine adopted and developed Marineland. So in that 1800 period, before Lincoln arrived here and let's just say settled here, there was a couple that used bricks as part of their homes or building or whatever, and you can still find some of these old bricks that have been sort of repurposed and restored in some of the homes in Marineland, which is kind of very historic and unique to this area. And I love when areas do that and they preserve the historical value and the historical education of an area. And in keeping with some of those architectural styles, you'll still see some of the old cottagey styles. Of course, at some point they get torn down and rebuilt, but there are some older homes back there that are very reminiscent of the early 1900s especially. So I hope you learned a little bit about the Braden River and what's here along the Braden River, and a little bit about Marineland. And it's just a unique area, lots of birds, as you can hear. I did a whole separate video actually about Jigs Landing as well a while back, so check that out. So I love unique properties like the one I just sold and areas like this. I think knowing the area is important when selling real estate because you can kind of give people the background and allow them to fall in love with an area as well. It's not just about the home, it's about the history too. And I love learning about all these things as I sell real estate. I have so much to learn still and areas to explore. And I'm happy to share that with you here on this channel. So if you have a home nearby or in the Sarasota, Charlotte, or Manatee County areas, I'd love to hear from you. I want to give you, the most value on your home back if you're choosing to sell your property. And I'd love to be a resource for you. So please reach out to me anytime, 941-544-7690.